Hey guys, Joe here, doing a one take. Number one, it's easy while I'm working on getting my computer water cooled and reset up so that I can do some editing, and I haven't figured out which motherboard I'm going to use, and it's really complicated, so let's just stop talking about that. I promised you some videos this week. First one is a one take pickups video. Let's start with this is going to be random. That's all there is to it. It's going to be random. Let's start with a video game related item, and that is a PlayStation 3. This is the K model, or as I like to call them, the George Foreman's, because it looks like a grill and then it slides open. So yeah, this works great. My buddy gave it to me because he had it laying around. It was extra, and I thank him for it. I did buy the controller from him about a week or week and a half later because he was going to trade it in since he didn't need it. He had his own, or extras. So I went ahead and picked this up from him. It works perfectly, and now I have a working PS3 because they use standard HDMI and they use a regular two-pronged power cord, which most electronics that I have use. So no problem. Problem solved. No problem. But I solved it anyway. Moving on. Let's talk a little bit of tech. My buddy's gun shop has computers. Weird in this day and age that somebody would have computers, I know. But they only had single 4 gig sticks in each machine. And I've only got 3 of them here, but there were 4. My buddy needed one for a friend, so he kept one of them. But it's 2400 megahertz Samsung RAM, but it was 4 gigabytes running in single channel on computers that were destined to be left on with tabs open all day long. Any of you that have ever tried to do that with just 4 gigs of RAM will know 'tis not enough. Especially when you're using onboard graphics, which those computers were. They were HP, Elite, or something or others. So we went ahead and replaced all 4 computers with 16 gigabyte kits of Corsair Vengeance LPX RAM at 3000 megahertz. And in the BIOS, we were able to get it to run at 3000 megahertz. So, score. And now he has much faster computers. The processors were like i5-8400s. So why they only had 4 gigs of RAM, that was a weird place to cut costs, especially nowadays since RAM isn't that expensive. I'm not sure, but we paid like a little over 100 and something, 120 bucks for each kit, and they work great. So now he's all set. And I have 12 gigs just in case I need them for testing purposes. Pretty cool, right? I thought so too. Let's move on to some Iron Man stuff. I don't remember the exact order of when I got these. However, I do remember I got them because I have them. Ha! This is a Avengers Iron Man mini egg attack figure. Sorry, it always throws me off when I try to pronounce that. But as you can see, it's the Iron Man from Infinity War. It's easier to see here because this is so glossy. It's reflective to all get out. I even have trouble seeing it to my face. But yeah, that's really cool. So my buddy hooked me up with that. He also hooked me up with an Iron Man head. It's Yahtzee, but it's really cool. It looks like Iron Man's helmet. I have a couple of his helmets laying around, and I like seeing the word helmet, 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 helmet. Anyway, I used to have the whatever that was, Claptrap, I think that was his name, from Borderlands, Tales from the Borderlands, or whatever it was. And this is much more what I actually want to collect. Next is my absolute most favoritist Iron Man armor ever. This armor precisely proceeded, not preceded, the Silver Centurion Red and Silver armor. If you are a fan of Iron Man and you know your Iron Man lore, you'll know that this was the armor that supposedly was a new Iron Man when, hey, spoiler, it's 34 years later, that Iron Man died. And it's always been my favoriteest Iron Man armor ever. It just looks cool. It's like a Camaro IROC Z28, like a 1990. It's classic. It looks good now. I'll fight you over it. Iron Man, again, go figure. This is the Diamond Select Toys Gallery Iron Man. It's the huge one. They also made an Iron Heart, but this is the most, I guess I would say, the most iconic Iron Man armor of the print series. When you get to the movies, obviously his Mark IIs and all that stuff are, but this one had like the longest lifespan. It's also the armor he wore when he was a drunkard. It's also the first armor that Rhodey wore. Not the silver armor, not the War Machine armor. He actually wore this armor for years while Tony Stark was in the gutter drinking his way into oblivion. So I sold this originally a couple years ago. My dad saw it at the PX just recently and said, you know what? I think my boy would like it. And he was right. Misa likey. That brings me on to the next thing. And it's less of a toy. It's less of a video game. It is an exciting pastime for me. It's a gun. This is a Taurus PT-92. Some call it a Beretta clone, when in fact it was actually built in the Beretta factory, and this one, being very early, is actually a Beretta. However, I'm not going to get into it now. You'll have to wait for the video, which I filmed and deleted some of the footage, so I have to refilm those parts. Meh. But I'll get to it. But this is a 9mm. I got it from my buddy's store. God, that's great. And yeah, so I paid him what was on the sticker, and he decided that was a little too much. So he was like, you know what? I want to treat my employees right, which is the right way to run your business. So he actually gave me a box of Sig Sauer 45 self-defense rounds. That's retail right there. That's $26 worth of bullets for 20 bullets. Yeah, it's over $1 a round. Less than $1 a round? More than $1 a round. Me not know. Me am only Korean. Me not know maths. But that's the point of working at his shop. I make some cash. I get good deals on toys like guns. And yeah, I'm not going to put that in the gun right now because I'm filming and it doesn't need to be loaded. So that's about it. If you have any questions, leave them down below. If you have any comments, leave those down below. Know that I am working on getting my computer water-cooled and able to process video more. I just haven't figured out which processor, which motherboard I'm going to use, be it go back to my X58 or leave it with the i5 and then maybe tube that up so that I can just throw a 3770 or 3770K on there. If you have one and you want to give it to me, give me a ring-a-ding on the email that's listed down below. More videos are coming. Drive talks are coming back, and especially since we drive down to his shop a couple times a week. And I think that's about it. So, as always, get subscribed, and I'll talk to you later.